time for more VB MMA picks for UFC Fight Night. Dolidze versus Hernandez on Saturday, August 9th, 2025, from here at the Apex in Las Vegas. VB, we're going to try to drum up some more magic this week with Anthony Hernandez fighting. We had to bring back the Jewish bettor. Remember last time we had JB on, we had that 43-1. We crushed it in that Pereira bout, so we had to see what kind of things we could get on this week's card. Good job, VB.
Yeah, it was crazy because we had Hernandez last time JB was on, and he started a little bit sketchy, but as always he took over late and he got the round 5 knockout we called on the show. So plus 4,500s is what we give out when JB comes, So let's talk about some fights. We picked all main card fights, because this card is already pretty. I think it's even worse than last week. So we had to at least pick main card fights, and we will give you 3 closer lines than the other fights. This card has a lot of big favorites, but we picked a little bit closer ones. So I think it will be a good show. JB, what's up, man? Thanks for joining.
Yo, thank you for having me, bro. First off, it's very appreciated. And yeah, 11 fights, a lot of big favorites. We found a couple to break down. And like you said, we're always trying to attack where the value's at. Not always the big plus money, but JB, he's got to sprinkle something in there. And last time we knew Fluffy in the main event had a chance. He's back in the main event this week, and we're back with VB. And it's long overdue, my man. Thank you for having me.
Sounds good. Let's talk about some fights now.
Yeah, let's do it. And thanks to the folks
Let's go
here in the chat, and appreciate your comments and questions throughout the show. Go ahead and get your questions ready. That's what Jewish bettor was doing. We couldn't even find him after that 43-1 shot for 2 weeks. He went on vacation. Lighting fireworks here. See if we get some fireworks going in these bouts here on Saturday night. We're heading right into the main card here. The last 3 fights. VB, you doing me a solid here. Hey, don't be talking down about these cards and hurt the ratings. Let's go right to the best 3 fights of the night. Start with featherweights here, JB. You got a 35-year-old Andre Fili from Washington State, fights out of Sacramento. He's 24-12, 12-11 in the UFC. Comes in off of a loss to Mel Costa via round 1 sub as a plus 110 dog back in February. Coincidentally, he's up against 27-year-old Christian Rodriguez from Milwaukee, 12-3, 5-3 in the UFC. Comes in off of a loss to Mel Costa via unanimous decision back on March 29th. Mel's a busy guy here as a minus 180 favorite, but it's going to be upwards of 225, 235 here for C-Rod in this one. JB, what do you got here with these featherweights?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting fight at the end of the day. I love C-Rod as a prospect, though. The kid is young. He's crisp, smooth in the boxing. Everything he does is economical. And I could even see Andre Fili, getting outstruck on the feet here. Now, the problem I have with C-Rod is he's a legitimate 135, or he should be at 135 pounds. But, he fights against these bigger guys. And we saw in the Erosa fight, he had some trouble, kind of came close to finishing him early, spent a lot of energy, winds up in a guillotine, gets choked out. It was a rough fight, but I could somewhat forgive him. Andre Fili, though, in that last fight, man, he kind of just wound up in the guillotine. Was a little interesting. Oh, I'm getting phone calls as we speak. I got to turn off my phone. How rude of me. And I just got a new phone, too. So, but look, here's how I see this fight going.
We're going to buy you a new ringtone. No, go ahead.
I know, dude. I got the original classic. Yeah, here's the thing. I think Andre Fili, he's just a little bit too wily on the feet. He's fought for a long time, and his striking accuracy is poor. 37% accuracy, I believe, which is, whereas Christian Rodriguez at a 50% accuracy. And I see it in the fights, man. I just think he's the crisper counter boxer. He's right out of the range of these strikes. And even in the grappling, he doesn't waste a lot of energy. I know I said he got caught in the Rosa fight, but I like the foot sweeps that he attacks. He can, make IQ mistakes sometimes, but I do think on the feet, like, this guy's going to be, like I said, the crisper striker. I even think he could hurt Andre Fili, maybe finish him in the late rounds. And the thing I like about C-Rod is He's got great hips, even against these guys like Isaac Dolgarian. He showed really good takedown defense, in my opinion. I know he got taken down in the Jonathan Pierce fight early in his career, in the Weems fight, but Pierce is a great grappler. That was, his UFC debut, I believe, on short notice. Weems, he wound up getting takedown, but then he puts him in that anaconda choke. And that's the other thing is I think, Christian Rodriguez is the better submission grappler as well. So I could see him, hurting Fili on the feet. Maybe the early rounds is competitive, but I think C-Rod starts to take over a little bit with his striking. I may look to play like the 2-3 on C-Rod, and because I think he's kind of like a Joshua Van. He kind of gets his reads. First round could be a little competitive. Then he starts to take over, push the pace, and I think he could even submit this guy. Andre Fili, has started to shoot a lot of takedowns in his fights. I think that C-Rod could sprawl out on him, start to attack that front headlock, and we've seen it in the Cameron Simon fight. A lot of his fights, he loves that anaconda choke, and I've seen him get it multiple times. You give me, plus 2,500, plus 3,000 on the anaconda choke for my guy C-Rod, whatever on the submission, that's going to be the way I'm looking. So I like late props for C-Rod. I think he takes over in this spot, and I think he could even get the submission via the anaconda.
All right, BB. I don't know if C-Rod is the rising star anymore at 27 years old and some losses now, but, he had that unanimous decision early in the year against Bashi, remember, before the loss, and at that time it felt like he was back on the rise. So where's his stock headed here?
Yeah, it's a tough fight to call in a way. C-Rod is inconsistent in my opinion. In some fights he overperforms, in some fights he doesn't do well. I don't know. I don't think I have the best read on him, even though I'm profitable betting him. Like, for example, I thought the Bulgarian was gonna beat him. There's a case he did, but they gave it to C-Rod. I bet him against Simon. I thought he was gonna grapple more, but it was a striking fight, One thing about C-Rod is like all of his losses are to guys who have more experience than he does. You know what I mean? And if you look at like Jonathan Pierce, 20-something fights, Julian Erosa, 40-something fights, Melky Costa, 31, 32. So all these guys he lost to are more experienced than he is. And Fili is another guy with more experience than he has. Fili is 24-12, so 36 fights he has. So again, another guy who is a lot more experienced than C-Rod. C-Rod, I believe, only has 15 fights, something like that, maybe more. Yeah, so it's like almost double, more than double, right? So it's like, another guy who has more experience. So maybe Fili can stay outside, put his job out. I don't think C-Rod striking is bad. I actually think he's a good boxer, but I think Fili has a better job. I think his Fili could be washed. Last fight he was doing fine, and Costin and guillotine gets submitted in a half guard. Like, that's a very bad move. If you're that experienced, you should get submitted in a half guard. Right, JV? Don't you agree? Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't like a lot of what I've seen in the Costa fight, but when I'm looking at freaking Fili versus Costa, that guillotine should not work. Yeah, no.
Right, so it's like he shoots a takedown. He gets the takedown. It's not like he wasn't guillotined right away. Costa readjusted after he was down and gets a guillotine in half guard. Not a good look for him. C-Rod can probably do similar like guillotine if he wants. I mean, he can pull something off. So I don't think I can back Fili, man. He's been in the UFC for so long. He kind of grew up in the UFC. He's one of those guys who was very young when he joined, and he's 35 now, and a lot of miles on him, and last couple of fights when he loses, he gets knocked out by Ige, gets finished by Costa. Wood almost stopped him, Wood doesn't really know for power either, so he doesn't take shots well, and his grappling looks worse. His takedown defense is fine, so I think it's a striking fight for the most part, but I would favor C-Rod's cardio, and he's more, I think he has more left in him, I think he's a little bit fresher and more durable, and if he's in a guillotine, he will fight out of it. Like that guy JSP put him in all kinds of submissions, and this guy never quit. So I don't think Fili is gonna be able to submit him. I don't think Fili is able to knock him out. So only thing Fili has maybe a decision path, but the last couple of fights he's not even high volume anymore. You know what I mean? So it's hard to back him at this point. So I'll agree with JB. I'll go with C-Rod. I'm not gonna lay minus 230 or 40, but if it comes down to 180, 170, I probably will play him. At this price though, I will still see where it goes. Maybe it comes down. Maybe people like Fili and they bet him as a big underdog because he has more experience. But I don't think he has much left in him anymore.
He kind of reminds me of Ricardo Ramos. Guy got subbed a couple times in a row because he just puts his head. Another team alpha male guy too. Kind of puts his head in the guillotine. I could see C-Rod going for that arm in guillotine, turning it into that anaconda. That's his best setup. And I've heard guys like Olivas Santino DeFranco talk about C-Rod going for that move in practice and how good he is at it. So I like it.
Okay, C-Rod sub. Then what is the line on that?
C-Rod sub, C-Rod anaconda. That's what we're going with this week.
Okay, C-Rod sub is not. C-Rod sub is not even that bad, bro. It's 500. So
yeah, give me a little better on FanDuel or DraftKings, and I'll fire.
Okay, all right. Sounds like a little bit of a C-Rod, safe but pricey. So we're gonna have to maybe find a way
money line. Maybe I'll go with the 2-3 prop because I like him to take over late. Because I know I said sub, but I could also see him knocking him out on the feet. Fili's been hurt before, and I know C-Rod doesn't seem like the most powerful guy, but when he starts to land, he's got good step-in knees. I could see him hurting Fili to the body. I just like the way he mixes it up, and I feel like Fili with that 37% striking accuracy, he's not the worst defensive striker, but I feel like he's going to leave openings, maybe get desperate. The later in his career too, he's not a guy to shy away from a fight either. And in the last fight, man, I can't forget, that was a terrible look.
Yeah. One thing about C-Rod though, I gotta mention, he was missing weight a lot at 135 and had to move up here. So I'm not sure if his power is gonna be enough at 145. Maybe it's fine, but Wood was also 135 and dropped Fili, so he could also drop Fili, but I think it's more like a club and sub, or if he gets a takedown or something, more like a sub, in my opinion. 145, I don't see him knocking people out, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, JB mentioned it too. So VB, does that affect his durability against a natural featherweight like Fili?
Fili is such a point fighter these days that I don't think it matters at all, to be honest.
C-Rod got some nasty ground and pound. The way he was floating position on Rosas too, he was landing some damaging strikes. But 135, even though in Pierce he had in some dangerous spots too, if I'm not mistaken, bro. So yes, it's just these Rufus Sports guys. They're opportunistic finishers. Like we've seen it with Anthony Pettis, right? Like at the blink of an eye, that guy could snatch up a sub, snatch up, a knockout. So.
No, and you seem pretty firm there, JB, on that, wearing him out factor as well. So okay, just wanted to clarify too. Okay, great job, guys. All right, let's go on the next one here. BB, I don't know if Angela Hill, she might now be the leader here with the being covered the most on BB MMA picks. I know we've had some male fighters, but I would argue here, could it be the end for Angela Hill here, JB, going up against Yasmin Lucindo? We know that Hill probably has more fights in her, but how much can we take here? But still, big bout here. You got top 15 contenders for sure, probably top 12 contenders here in the strawweight division. 23-year-old Brazilian Yasmin Lucindo, 17-6, 4-2 in the UFC, comes in off of a loss to Lemos at UFC 313 back in March. Lucindo was the $1.50 favorite, if I'm not mistaken, in that one, up against 40-year-old Angela Hill from St. George's County, Maryland. Fights out of Chula Vista, California, 18-14, 13-14 in the UFC. Sounds like a bad soccer team or something here. She's won 3 of 4, including that split decision win over Souza back in February at -105. I imagine it's not the end for Hill, but Lucindo gets top billing here for sure. JB strawweights.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really hard fight for me to predict, in all honesty. Like, I lean Lucindo winning. She's obviously the younger fighter. I don't have to say that, but it's going to be interesting. She's going to throw big winging strikes here. She's got the power advantage. She's got the offensive wrestling upside. I don't think Hill has the worst takedown defense, and she's fought good competition. 75% takedown defense, I don't think is bad. She doesn't have the offensive wrestling upside that a Lucindo has, but well, if this fight plays out on the feet, I'm interested. But I do think Lucindo could get top time. Like I said, she does have the offensive grappling, and she's very physical. If she winds up on top, I don't know if Hill has the jiu-jitsu to necessarily get back to the feet. She has been improving though. I do think working with J-Flow Judo has helped her a lot. We've seen her in her later career even get a submission now. Listening to her interview, she said that she was even going to look for a submission in this fight. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but it shows you where her confidence is at in the grappling. Now, I don't think she should be overconfident here. These judo players could try to offensively maybe wrestle against a Lucindo, and I wouldn't like to see that because Lucindo is strong and she does have those body locks, but girls are double legging Angela Hill. Girls are shooting single legs. I don't know if a one style takedown is going to necessarily do it. And then we're playing a close competitive fight on the feet. I think, I give Hill the volume advantage. I think she's a solid defensive striker, and she's just a veteran. She knows how to win fights. She always is in close fights, right? We talked about her terrible record, but how many of those are the split decision loss for Angela Hill, right? Greasy competitive fight. She's doing it into her late age. So I don't see why she couldn't compete here again, unless she's getting completely dominated on the mat. And like I said, 75% takedown defense, working with J-Flow Judo. I don't think, this is a Mackenzie Dern or a Vina Jandiroba. Doesn't necessarily mean she can't get takedowns, though, because I do think she's improving. But that last fight, man, against Lemos, I feel like we saw some limitations in her game. And she wound up on her back there. Who's to say that, Angela Hill can't get a guillotine here or get a sweep or just, at least somewhat compete in the grappling to keep this fight competitive. I don't think she'll have the advantage, but if she can compete in the grappling, keep this fight relatively on the feet for the most part, I do think her volume could be there. That being said, I do think she can be hurt. She's getting older. Her reactions to strikes aren't the best, and Lucindo's going to throw. She's going to come to fight. Like I said, big wing shots. Could leave herself open, but Hill doesn't have any power, really. It's going to have to be all volume. She's going to have to kind of get her way to a decision here. So, yeah, plus 175. I think it's going to be close. I probably lean the dog, but I'm not sure here. It's a really tough fight for me to bet. And at some point, Hill's going to fall off a cliff. But, yeah, man, maybe Lucindo like minus 150. I think this is going to be competitive. What do you think?
Yeah, as we are speaking, people are betting Lucindo, it seems. Lucindo is 17 years younger than Angela Hill, guys, 17 years younger. That's very rare, but
she's still 5-2 in her last 7. Maybe, BB Lucindo was still a bright prospect, certainly among the strawweights because of her youth and JB mentioned the Kowalkiewicz fight, Rodriguez fight. So she's an up-and-comer, but Hill's 5-2 in the last 7. I'm kidding. I mean, she's not slowing down.
She looked just fine last couple of fights. I agree. As JB mentioned, that at one point she will be Angela over the hill, but we'll see when. Here's the thing, though, man. Like, people were saying, remember when Yasmin fought Haragi? Remember, JB? Everybody was saying, "Oh, these are the future champions," or "Oh my God, they're like future of the sport at WMMA," and Haragi is gonna be freaking, double champion and stuff. Like, listen, man, that's a big time fake news in my opinion. I don't think Yasmin is gonna be champion, and if I'm pretty damn sure Haragi is not even gonna be ranked in top 5, ever. So I don't think they're that good. Yasmin is super hittable, pretty one-dimensional striker, not very good. She's pretty good striker, and she was able to outstrike Lucindo. But then Lucindo again last fight, like favorite against Lemos. I bet Lemos there. Lemos kind of big sister there, threw her around, no problem. And even in round 3, when Lemos usually gets tired, even in round 3, she was able to reverse Lucindo. So I want to say it was a levels fight because Lucindo has had some moments, but physicality-wise, it was pretty evident that Lemos was just bigger and more dangerous fighter, and her strikes are cleaner. And here's the same thing, in my opinion, is this fight. Like, Hill, yeah, she's a little bit slow, and 40 years old is not her prime or anything, but we saw her grappling improve. JB mentioned 73% takedown defense, and actually, last couple of fights, it's been better than that. Usually, when you know strikers come to UFC, they are always getting taken down, they're getting subbed. And that's what happened to Hill. She got subbed by Rose, and she was getting taken down all over the place, and she couldn't get up. But last couple of years, her takedown defense is pretty good. Her get up game is very good. One thing she added is when people go for a takedown, and even if they are halfway there, she makes sure to land like 2, 3 nasty knees, even if she goes down, and she damages you and slows you down. So if Lucindo thinks she'll body lock Hill here on wheel, she's gonna be eating knees, in my opinion, if she closes distance too much. I don't think Lucindo is gonna get easy takedowns there. And also, one thing I mentioned to some people is like, in Apex sometimes for some like for a grappler like Lucindo who likes those body locks, sometimes Apex is not the best thing because fence is always basically there to save you from a takedown. Like when Lucindo goes for takedowns with those body locks, he may just get saved by the fence few times here. You know what I mean? Like he has a cage to lean on, and against the cage, I think it's harder to take heel down. So if you're a cage grappler, in my opinion, like somebody like Mirab or like Bashi, I think it's better to have Apex. But if it's a like body lock specialist like Lucindo, you know what I mean, who doesn't really have trips or single legs or anything, I don't think it's good for Apex. I think there's a fence to save you many times if you're falling back and stuff like that. So I think Hill is gonna be competitive on the feet. If she gets taken down, it's a Lucindo's fight. I mean, it's pretty clear, right? But thing is, I don't think it's gonna be easy. I think Lucindo is gonna close the distance and eat a lot of knees, not on knees. And damage versus control kind of fight here probably. So I'm gonna go with Hill as an underdog. I think that you have to. I was taping this fight whole day. I just don't understand how you can get to minus 200 unless Hill is just washed quickly. Like from her last fight, she's completely different. Just in one camp, he's completely like different fighter and not good. But if Hill shows up, who fought like Pinheiro or who fought even Richie or even Gomez, like Dennis Gomez, I think she can win this fight. Dennis Gomez hits harder than Lucindo, and she was able to outstrike her. She would never got really hurt. Go on.
I think this girl Angela Hill's undefeated against Brazilians with neck tattoos, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's pretty well too. So
3-2 in your last fights against Brazilians officially, but
yeah, if you look at like Souza Brazilian, Richie Brazilian, Pinheiro Brazilian, Gomez Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
Darren is Brazilian / American, but Brazilian.
Yeah, I mentioned that it's a serious stat, but also, those wins, right? BB for Lucindo, they were against aging veterans.
Yeah,
that's how you know. That's how you know Mackenzie Dern really isn't Brazilian because she didn't lose. She didn't lose to Angela Hill.
Right. Again, I'm not sure, but either way, I think that people are thinking that Lucindo is gonna get free takedowns here, no problem. Again, Lucindo had hard time taking Lemos down. He had hard time taking Yasmin down. So it's not like she gets takedowns every time. Even Minor Rodriguez was able to defend a lot of takedowns. And their fight was split decision. So I think Hill's takedown defense is better than Minor Rodriguez's takedown defense. Probably much
Marina
better.
even took her down, bro. Reversed her. Put her
right. So. Yeah, it's free takedowns, Lucindo, and later choke and this and that. I don't know. I don't think it's that easy, but there's a chance that Hill is washed. There's a chance 40 years old is the line, right? Like they think it's competitive, but then she's gonna get subbed randomly here or something, That's what bookmakers are thinking probably. But I will go with Hill, man. I think at this price, when I think she has a clinch game, she has decent takedown defense at this point, and Lucindo is still kind of green and doesn't really have that kind of power in her hands. I have to play Hill because I just can't get to minus 70%. I just can't get there. If Lucindo wins, I think she will look like minus 200 at best. I don't think there is much like upside here on Lucindo. Like if she wins, she will probably look at best maybe minus 200. But if Hill wins, she can look like a favorite or 50-50 fight or another split decision or something. And It's gonna be interesting. Let's see. So here is the Lucindo. Here we go. So best price on let's say the best price on fight odds on Angela Hill. So minus plus 175,
Mm-hmm.
Plus
180,
180 on Circa.
180 is there. So and the best price of Lucindo is minus 190 here. So I'll try to get maybe I'll try to request plus 190. So if somebody wants plus 190, can go to SX and get it on Lucindo. There's no VIX. Shout out to our sponsor SX, by the way. When I'm getting plus 190 on Hill, I'm gonna request it. Somebody may feel it. Somebody's gonna get minus 190 on Lucindo. So there's no VIG. You know, it's
Some green there. Did we get filled or maybe
no.
Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Not yet, but let's wait. Maybe we get it.
Yeah, for sure. I just go by Hill's social media, BB. I hope she doesn't get too enamored with her improved ground game, though, because she said she wanted to beat the brakes off of Lucindo. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That felt like to me like she wanted to show some new tricks, and I don't know if I just wanted to be Angela Hill in there.
I mean, I don't mind it. You know, if she wants to beat up somebody in a fight, that's what she. I mean, that's why she's here, right? I mean,
You gotta keep it interesting, man. When you're doing something for so long, right? You gotta try to bring out the new tricks. That's what she kind of said. She mentioned like that she wanted to show different wrinkles in her game here against a younger fighter that's really green and just show her veteran experience. Which, dude, I think she definitely could do. It's gonna be a good fight. I think it's close and competitive. So I don't hate the Hill bet.
Yeah, but guys, keep in mind we are not like super confident here on Hill. Like, like she shouldn't be a favorite. Like, we are not saying she should be like minus 200 or something. I think could be a close fight where
yeah, go ahead.
Lucindo can't get that much control time, and he'll land some good knees in the clinch, and striking is gonna be close. I'm pretty confident. So we're just saying it could be close. But keep in mind, Hill is 40 years old, so usually not the best idea to bet 40-year-olds against 23-year-olds.
In the women's game, it might be different too. And BB, like you said, I mean, unless she's just fallen off the cliff after a fight, it was just back in February. I mean, you always get your money's worth with Angela Hill.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get ready in just a moment. We'll get to that main event with Ramon Dolidze and Anthony Hernandez here in just a moment. But first, you can follow BB MMA Picks on X and get his fight card for this week. Dolidze versus Hernandez at the Apex. You can slide into his DMs and talk directly to the man himself. BB, hey, great time last night with the Saturday card, especially. Come on, a couple of these big hitters. You had Fili, round 2 KO scores at 9.5 to 1. You had also Tyra, of course, in that main event. By sub in round 2, man, you really came through big. Nakamura by TKO as well, and you scored with some favorites in the parlay. What's going on this week in MMA?
I saw JB smile. I think I know why he smiled. He had Nakamura 2-3 knockout, I think. And
I had the KO, and I played. So I played. What I wound up doing was I played the KO just straight, and then I played 2-3 separately.
Nice, yeah.
Because
I thought you only had 2-3.
Right. I thought like, hey, look, if this guy, I don't do that anymore, bro. Because
always
there's.
I was gonna do 2-3
knockouts in the first round. I didn't think he could submit him in the first round. Like it was possible, but I was like, yo, if he submits him in the first round, then I lost, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Fletcher is a decent grappler, so he could probably go a little bit later if they grappled. But the thing is, like last week we had a lot of good hits. Tyra around 2 stop plus 850 came through. We had 2 knockouts pull live. It was gonna be always round 2 in my opinion because Nick Klein never gets round 3. When he gets that tired. And then we had some good parlays. I had Nakamura, Tyra parlay. I had 2-3 Bashi, which didn't come through, but it is what it is. I don't regret it that much. I guess the ITD minus 160 was free, but shout out to whoever got that. We did well last week. This Apex card seems to be our thing, And last time JB was on, I think we had Hernandez and some other guys who won, and we kind of swept, So I'm trying to sweep again, guys. Let's get the sweep. And shout out to our sponsor, SX, for sponsoring the show. Thank you, everybody, in the comments. And let's talk about this main event now.
All right, let's do it here. That's why you brought a Jewish better on, BB, because we got Anthony Hernandez here, and we're looking for another 40-1 bomb here or something to that effect. Let's get into this main event. We've got middleweights here with a 37-year-old Roman Dolidze from the great country of Georgia, fights right out of here, out of Las Vegas, where it's smoky today, BB, 106 degrees, and there's some fires out here. But Dolidze comes in here 15-3, 9-3 in the UFC's won 3 straight, including that unanimous decision win over Vittori as a plus 135 dog. Remember, that was a fight night main event back in March. He's up here against 31-year-old Anthony Hernandez from Dunnigan, California, 14-2, 8-2 in the UFC. One of the best winning streaks in the organization right now. BB, 7 straight wins, including that unanimous decision win over Allen in February. He was a big 330 favorite, though, in that one, BB. So you got middleweights here. We know there was a little bit of shakeup in the ranks last week with the Ritter moving ahead of pretty much all these guys, but still the two top 10 guys here in the rankings with Dolidze and Hernandez.
Yeah, it's a good main event, and you know, Trap Lord is saying Dolidze 1-2 is very alive. Fluffy gets hurt and he's right to the body.
Okay.
But if he goes 2.5 over, probably cooks though. Yeah, we can end the show. It's pretty much what I think also. But yeah, I mean, it's like that, you know. I think it's pretty like binary fighting that way, because if it goes late, you know, yeah, I mean, Hernandez is gonna take over. Roman slows down sometimes around 2, you know. So even round 5, I don't think Roman is gonna be doing well or anything like that. But early though, man, you know, Roman has knockout power. He's super credentialed grappler. You know, I would say he's early maybe even better, like jiu-jitsu guy than Fluffy, maybe. You know, he has good sweeps. He has, for a light heavyweight and now middleweight, he has crazy back game. You know, his triangles and arm bars are at this weight class probably the best. You know, there are not many middleweights who can throw up like triangles and heel hooks and sweep you like that. You know, at this weight class, it almost never happens. Guys are too tired, they're too big that they can move each other. You know what I mean? So Roman is very flexible and very decent like on the ground, especially early. Fluffy, you know, like he does what he does. He puts you in a freaking grinder, takes you down, like sweeps you. Sometimes even gives you takedown to grapple and scrambles and sweeps, and even if he misses takedowns, goes for it, you know. But I don't know. As far as the striking goes, you know, I think Fluffy is a little bit better boxer, but Roman also is decent at boxing. Last fight he looked decent, you know, against Marvin. He was able to strike there for 5 rounds. He was able to win 4 rounds to 1, and his cardio looked a little bit better in that fight, you know, I gotta say. Hernandez, again, on the feet, okay boxing, good, but a little bit slow. So there's going to be some chances for Roman to let some big shots, in my opinion. There is going to be some clinching here where Roman can let some big knees. And we saw Roman has, you know, a couple huge knee knockouts, you know. So it's going to be dangerous for Fluffy, especially we know that he's been stopped with a knee before, right? To the body by Cameron Holland. He got stopped. He's been submitted by Marcos, or what's his name, the Brazilian guy who submitted him, who's not even that good. But again, that was a long time ago. But last couple of fights, you know, I've been backing him. Last fight, I think I bet Allendo against him because he was a big underdog, and he was pretty competitive fight, honestly. I don't mind the dog shot there. You know, it was positions, and Allen was able to win 1 round, but in round 3 he got tired of, and you know, it was what it was. But yeah, I think Roman is live here. Do I think he wins in round 3, 4, 5? I don't think so, but it's MMA, and if Fluffy can't get takedowns going and he's kind of stuck on the feet, I guess anything can happen, you know. So at this price, plus 270, I gotta play my boy Roman here. You know, I think that at these kind of prices, I want to play Roman. You know, when Roman is minus 300 or something, I don't want to play him. You know, because he can make too many mistakes. He doesn't really have the like processed game. You know, we know what Fluffy is gonna do, right? He's gonna come out here. He's gonna push cardio. He's gonna push the pace, right? With Roman, we don't know what is he gonna do. One fight he strikes, one fight he wrestles, one fight he clinches. So his process is all over the place. He's not very processed fighter. He's like opportunistic fighter, opportunistic submission game. Loves to get knockouts and stuff. So different kind of fighter. It's more like underdog style. So he's like, if he catches you, he catches you. If he doesn't, then he may lose. So I'm gonna try this line. I'm not gonna play ITD or knockout or sub or anything. I'm just gonna play the money line because I truly don't want to make it more complicated. ITD makes sense, but it's literally plus 300. So it's like money line is plus 270 and ITD is plus 300. No, thank you. For that kind of difference, I would never play it. But if you're going with Roman 1-2, maybe it makes sense then. But as far as the money line, it has to be Roman. And I always say this: when it's usually people in top 15, top 10, and the one guy is plus 270, and they're on win streak, and then you bet them, you're very profitable.
Yeah.
And this argument came when like Volkov fought Sergey, a couple of years ago. This guy was telling me like, oh, this is like a class fight. I know it's like both these guys are top 5, and since then I've been using the strategy, that if guys are highly ranked and fight is possibly competitive, you should bet the underdog. For the most part, they come through, and I think it's gonna come through again. Last week we saw Tyra, right? And I laid price on Tyra because I thought it was too much for Park. Park wasn't even ranked. Tyra is now top 5 guy, possibly next title challenger. Park comes on short notice. He had no chance. But how can you tell me Roman doesn't have a chance? He has knockout path. He has submission path. We saw Fluffy stopped both by strikes and by submission. So give me Roman here at plus 270. I got 300 actually I think 1 week ago. But it's 270 and I'm still good, like not that different. And I will try to get more plus 300 on SX. Let's see if somebody takes it. Because best price on Fluffy is like 320. So somebody should definitely want plus 300 here on the moment. I'll go 2 in 300 here. Let's see. Somebody takes it or not.
Okay. Yeah, for sure, B, because you talk about when you look at the ranking, and I always make a big deal about it, but I don't care whose rankings you're looking at. You're looking at 2 guys who are kind of evenly matched in the division, no matter whose rankings you look at. Why wouldn't it be closer? But that's for you guys to tell me. Okay. Anyway, JB, this one, these guys were supposed to fight 14 months ago. I think Hernandez had a hand injury at the time. So does the time make any difference here? They've been in the ring there, and we're ready to go with these guys now.
Yeah, I'll just be honest with you. I'm gonna geek out about this fight because in my eyes, like, maybe this plays out on the feet, right? But I see Fluffy at some point shooting takedowns. If he's gonna be successful, I don't know, because while Ramon Dolidze is a big dude, he's a big 185er, gonna be hard to easily just get down. But Fluffy averaging 6 takedowns per fight. But look at the guys he's fighting, Edmund Shabazian, going to be easy to, kind of get takedowns over, in my opinion, compared to Dolidze, Kopylov, Pereira, all not high-level grapplers as Dolidze. And then you got Allen. He said he came into that fight, with some injuries, but Allen even wound up reversing him, I believe, in that spot. I don't remember if it was a guillotine or he wound up threatening the rear naked choke, but I'll have to go back and watch. We've just seen Anthony Hernandez. He's willing to put himself in the fire. He's a very, tough guy, but I don't know if he has the durability edge here. We've seen him hurt, especially to the body. And you talked about the clinch knees, VB. I think he could get hurt with a clinch knee to the body in this spot. Ramon Dolidze also, 33% takedown defense. That's pretty bad. I do think Fluffy will get takedowns, but off of his back, Ramon Dolidze is one of the best grapplers I've seen in the UFC because he plays K guard. It's a kind of guard where he's threatening upper body attacks, arm bars, triangles, and if you posture up, then he'll take the leg lock. If you try to defend the leg lock, he'll go to the pendulum sweep, the flower sweep, wind up trying to get you to mount, which he tried to do against Jack Hermanson. Then Jack Hermanson, started to adjust, and he never, the good thing, like, it's the same thing as overextending on a punch. You never want to overextend in a position in grappling because that's how you give up position. That's how you lose Ramon Dolidze back to his feet. So he's chaining upper body attacks, lower body attacks, along with sweeps, along with stand-ups, and that's how you play guard in MMA. I think the only other people we really see doing that is like Pantoja, inverting and playing jiu-jitsu at a high level in MMA, and I think Roman is one of the best to do it. He even did say, I've seen some of the comments there, I don't hate that because, man, Roman Dolidze, one of the best grapplers in the UFC, never got a sub. He even said in his interview that he's embarrassed that he's never gotten a submission, and if he had one way to choose to win this fight, he would get a submission. Now, I don't like to listen to fighter interviews, but I'll take that into consideration because, he is a very high-level grappler. He's competed in the ADCC. I remember him going for those leg locks against Trevor Giles, and his coach was very frustrated there. Rightfully so. He comes back, and he's fought in a little bit better IQ in some fights since. Some fight he hasn't, and he said in his interview as well he wants to fight the best path to victory. And I don't really know what that is here because I don't know if he's going to be able to dictate the fight. Unless he's able to stuff takedowns, keep this on the feet. I do think Fluffy's going to have takedown success. Early, this is going to be very competitive. Fluffy is one of the best top position grapplers I've seen. The way he floats position, the way he takes the back, stays on top, never falls off position. Same thing about Roman Dolidze, but on top. If you he'll take the arm triangle, he'll take the arm in modified guillotine that he's very good at, that we saw him get Adolfo Vieira with. If you gas against this guy, he's just going to keep pouring it on. And it's a hard style to bet against, but we're talking about lines here, man. And I do think Roman could compete, maybe not get finished late. Michelle Pereira that fight almost went to the judges somehow, which was crazy because he was on death's door. We almost didn't cash that, bro. Fight not to go the distance is minus 700. Now it's minus 210. Are they necessarily saying it's going to be an easy finish for Hernandez? I don't know because Roman's a lot better of a grappler than Michelle Pereira. Michelle Pereira was just kind of laying there. And I think Roman's going to be throwing up leg locks. He's going to be throwing attacks. He could break your leg and then knock you out. We saw him do that against a good wrestler in Phil Hawes. Now, I know, Fluffy's known to have better jiu-jitsu, but he's been submitted before. He's been put in submissions before. He's just a tough motherfucker. And I do see him eventually taking over late here. 3-4-5, probably win a decision, maybe a late finish. But yeah, Roman at these prices, bro, plus 1,400 for the sub. He said he's going to try and get it. Like I said, he's going up and basically submitted Jack Hermanson. He didn't submit him, but he submitted him. And that guy's a super high-level black belt. Hernandez been submitted before. Give me round one sub. I'll take the money line like VB because I could even see him winning the decision, as crazy as that sounds. If he wins the first 2 rounds and keeps it competitive, because we don't know. Is Roman just going to completely gas if Fluffy doesn't have takedown success? And then it could just get weird from there. I don't know. But at plus 4,400, you said you wanted a crazy one, my guy. Plus 4,400. I think that's close enough. Round one sub. Let's just see what round one or two sub for Roman on FanDuel plus 2,900. There you go. Bang. We took it against Fluffy last time. We said Pereira was live for the KO or sub early, so we thought Pereira could sub, and I think Pereira almost even got a guillotine on him. So yeah, bro, I like it. I think that Roman could hit him with a leg lock, put him in a triangle, take his back, put him in a calf slicer. He's going to be all over the place. The grappling exchanges are going to be amazing to see in this fight. That being said, I've seen, Roman get his back taken by Imavov before. I wouldn't be shocked if Fluffy, is able to just take him down, rinse and repeat, do whatever he's able to do to all these other people. But I just think this is now a step up in competition. I think the market is a little bit high on Fluffy. Like you can see, even the crowds are starting to get behind him. And I think that's the public. And I think they're starting to drive the lines a little bit on this guy. Parlay boys are out. And I think they, it might be worth a shot on Roman. I'm not saying you should be a favorite because, in my opinion, you should bet the cardio. Fluffy Hernandez, tough guy, to bet against, but the lines are just getting a little bit ridiculous. I think he wasn't even as big of a favorite against Allen, and I think Dolidze would compete with Allen, bro.
Yeah, I agree. We kind of broke this fight down in many ways, but again, one thing is Fluffy. Again, people say he should be 170. I don't think he can make 170, but Roman is probably light heavyweight, so he's going to be a bigger guy here. Not going to be as easy to move him around, especially on the ground. He's not a joke at all. He's probably one of the best guard player at this weight class, if not the best guard player. So, yeah, I don't know. More I look into this fight, more I like.
You said Roman Dolidze. He's one of the best guard players in MMA. because he's not going to stay on his back. But I
Mhm.
think one of the best top grapplers in MMA is Fluffy Hernandez. If this fight hits the mat, I'm going to be glued to the TV when you talk about, because the thing with grappling, bro, is it's so boring. It's so boring. Both of these guys make grappling fun. There's no Fluffy Hernandez fight where you're sitting there watching like, oh, this is so boring. No, he makes grappling fun. And he's not a Dagestani. He's not just going to sit there. He's hunting for the finish. He's trying to break you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Roman Dolidze, you're not just going to put this guy on his back and expect to just get easy top time. You're going to have to float position. You're going to have to be aware of the subs. You're going to have to defend leg locks. You're going to have to defend chokes. So this is going to be an amazing fight to watch at middleweight. And I can't wait. And I hope it hits the mat the first second it happens. I don't want to see an ounce of striking in this fight. Just put on the gi and go out there and grapple.
BB
Let's go.
for a former world grappling champion like Dolidze, are those the skills that leave though a little bit as the age? You mentioned he hasn't finished in the UFC he'd like to, but are those the skills that kind of leave at 37?
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Or the strength,
I think it's not that old, huh?
Okay. Or the strength.
There is the age
like Hernandez, especially.
I don't think so. There is like age. There is a fight age, and Roman I don't think has ever been knocked out, so he's pretty fresh as far as fighting goes. He was
looks like a god to me out there. I mean, he looks terrific.
Right. So yeah. Also, I was able to get close to 70. I think Roman. I gotta see. Raymond, if we show the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for a Friday. We made it to Friday and get ready for a great sports weekend, including UFC coverage tomorrow. Thank you for watching VB MMA Picks. We're joined by Jewish Bettor this week for a good preview of the UFC card. First Strike is also up and available right now underneath the videos tab. Gets you ready for our companion coverage at a little bit before 4:30 Eastern. I think I was looking at those fight times this week. We're a little bit early this week. 1:30 Pacific time for our fight card from Las Vegas here this week. So make sure you join us there. It might even be a half hour earlier than that. I see maybe first fight could be at 4:15. So just be ready. Check on those times. Maybe I can get them to you here before the end of the show. But it will be all there all night with that fight card, including that main event between Dolidze and Hernandez and other fights as well. So appreciate you joining me here on the show. Fun night last night. Brought home some pretty good winners there, I thought, especially in the NFL here on the show. A light card yesterday, but interesting card. A little bit of a bummer, a few things yesterday for me and watching the games. I'll share with you, but let's say hello to some folks. Jimmy Lambo, you guys are going to have a lot of UFC comments, and I love that. Man, that's really cool that you guys are taking in these shows. Again, just want to have a little lead in, right? And why not have some programming up there? We want people to see these programs. We create them for you guys. So really appreciate it. The numbers look pretty good too, by the way. They're usually you guys are waiting for me. I should do you a solid, try to be sooner, but I'm trying to get the show ready. Thank you everybody for tuning in here to the show, and I see you guys have some opinions there on that main event. All right, going to recap some of the action yesterday. Sounds like this is a $3 favorite, and there's certainly still some support in there for Dolidze. You heard VB kind of talking about him, and but JB was also talking about Fluffy there, so maybe it is closer than $3 though. Anyway, huh? Lovable plays. Hello, great job there. Yesterday, where were we seeing lovable play? Were you in one of the chats on the afternoon shows? I think there yesterday. Lovable, nice to see you. Okay, let me go over some of the action here from yesterday. We did hit that early game with the A's over Washington. The A's really did a job. Like, they're playing really good ball here, and Washington not so much. A's easy winner. Felt like yesterday premium pick for me over at Tony's Picks. But here on the show, we did have the under in that game and the 6-0 win for the A's. Also had a winner yesterday on the Cover the Spread show. Hopefully you tuned in to me over there on our channel, Cover the Spread, and joined by Rod and Al. And I have the White Sox and Seattle game to go under 7 yesterday. I know some people might have got a push on that, so with all due respect, I think we were talking about juiced 7.5, but winner there for Seattle, 4-3, obviously. Also had another winner on the Cover the Spread show with the over with Miami and Atlanta. That was my play over there in that game with a big over yesterday, as Atlanta ended up clubbing Miami there a little bit, getting one finally for Carrasco in a high-scoring game. But hopefully you join me on the happy hour there, too. How about my man Marcy with a pretty big performance for Miami? I said take him over 1.5 there. Total bases or runs, hits, and RBIs. And Marcy looks pretty good. Looks like a pretty good hitter for Miami. Future star there, maybe. All right, so yesterday, man, my Chargers, Rashawn Slater, he signs that big contract this week and gets basically a devastating injury here, a torn patella tendon, season-ending injury right there during a passing drill, and his knee buckled. So that's just the Chargers for you. Now they're going to have to shift Joe Alt to left tackle, and they'll have to maneuver some things there. That was kind of a bummer. And then how about my man Isaiah Wooden? I called for him to have a return for a touchdown yesterday on the Happy Hour show with the guys over on the Tony's Picks channel. I said, take Woody at 3-1. He was actually more than 3-1, I'm pretty sure, for everybody. Woody returns a punt on the first return of the game for the Tiger Cats for a touchdown. Score 3-1. Unfortunately, my man Woody from my alma mater, who I'd covered, went down with an injury late in the first quarter and had to be carted off. It was really a bummer, but it looked like an arm or a wrist injury. Hopefully it wasn't to those valuable knees, because he's become one of the top threats in the CFL. So hopefully it's just a upper body. Hopefully it's not a big injury, but they showed him being held by his arm or shoulder possibly. So that was really a bummer. I know we had Hamilton here on the show yesterday, but Woody scores for us. BC won the game, but just had to mention that because I was bummed when I saw that. Man, he returned a kick, looked great. CFL leading third return for a touchdown. Vobble had 2, Woody had 2, and then he went down with that injury, and I was really bummed to see that. In the NFL yesterday, we kicked it off. You could lead with the NFL even though it's preseason, right? Because of, you're trying to see what's going on in the battles. And we rolled a couple of games there, right? We were not swayed by the starters being in. Look, it's still preseason, and really what happened was the best organizations kind of ended up winning the games, except for that bizarre game there with the Raiders and the Seahawks there. Well, we know, but let me just cover these other two games there yesterday, but the bizarre tie there with the Raiders and the Seahawks. I know we were on the under here on the show and 46 points, but we did have the Seahawks as our premium pick over at Tony's Picks plus the points. But so yesterday, we did have the Ravens here on the show. Keaton Mitchell, 68 rushing yards. Daniel Jones did pass for 144. He's in the lead right now because of the injury to Richardson. Dislocated thumb. What did they say? Dislocated finger, whatever. Problem is, Richardson can't read an offensive line. I'm sure he's well coached with Steichen and these guys, but for him to get blasted like that on a play just means he's not making the right read. At least that's what the experts would tell you. And that looks to be the case, right? The way he got blasted on that with a release back, probably there for a quick out, whether he gets blasted or not. So Richardson feels like miles behind Daniel Jones actually at this point. Cincinnati and Philadelphia, Tanner McKee, Tanner McKee can come in and do this, right? 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's because the Eagles are so sturdy. Burrows, 2 touchdown passes. They look good early there, right? But in the end, Philadelphia gets the wild 34-27 win and another over. So they all go over yesterday. Are we kind of moving to maybe more overs? Maybe we're just back in the past. We're thinking of past years with the unders, but remember, you got to throw your starters in there quick. You've only got a few quarters. You only got 3 games for the most part on these guys. You got to get them in there a little bit, but it was still the home teams, the better organizations, maybe even the better preseason teams that took care of business in these games. It felt like last night, the Raiders Seahawks in that bizarre 23-23. Drew Lock, 2 interceptions and two touchdowns and interception. Ashton Genty, you have more yards than Ashton Genty at this point. He has -1 yard. So O'Connell, 2 picks, 1 looked bad, 200 yards. It's trouble. Raiders got a bad team, a bad roster at this point. Seahawks, I felt like that was a solid play there yesterday, but they all went over. All right, in the WNBA yesterday, we did have a winner on the show there with Atlanta laying the points there. We took Atlanta, we took the Dream there in that one. They blasted Chicago again. There was trouble there, more trouble for Chicago, it felt like. We did have the under as well on the Tony's Picks Happy Hour show. Also, we had a premium pick, Sports Money Premium, Indiana and Phoenix game. 2 go under yesterday as Phoenix crushed Indiana by 35 points. Rugged performance there. Indiana may have a little road rust, road fatigue at this point. All right, I think that's a recap, and let's get into the action here today. Let's see some more comments from you guys in the chat here. And again, appreciate all the comments about the fight card here this weekend. Nate had a good day there. Lovable's getting around, they said. Stop Geo, thank you for stopping by here today. Goops is here, everybody. And, right, Andrew, look, I mean, Cleveland has 6 quarterbacks. Cleveland has 1 quarterback at this point. It looks like Shedeur Sanders. They might need him to play the entire game. What a bizarre. I mean, just don't be a quarterback in Cleveland. Maybe Shedeur will be the answer. Maybe Shedeur will be the answer. All right, Lovable. Yeah, Lovable. I'm a native San Diego, but I'm in Las Vegas here now we're going on another year here. I can't believe it. NYC Bar there. NYC Bar, we got to figure that out because I didn't see your name, and I saw, you gave me your name, but when I searched for someone with that name, it didn't bring anything up. So I got to try to see what's going on there, but you're in for sure. Let me try to figure it out. But I need to help you out, or I need to figure out why I didn't get it right, why I can't find it. I'll look again, though. Thank you. Maybe we could try it. Terrell, he says, look, all 4 preseason games have gone over. Will those totals go up? Not if you look at the first game here tonight, right? There. All right. And let's see here. Braves found a team they can beat. Bobby Mack is here today. Andrew K is ready to go. And let's see here. Who else is here? That might be it. Hopefully we're ready to go here. And Dream, maybe the Dream here. We'll look to the card tonight. Terrell, always bet against the sky after just a bet against the sky at this point, right? Catching up, Andrew K. I'm glad you took the 2.5. I know I was saying go with 2. Look, I thought catching off played pretty well. Obviously, it's as close as it gets. I mean, there are people who won with Shelton, lost with Shelton, won with catching off, lost with catching off. A pretty good match. Give catching off credit, I think, here. But give Shelton the big-time credit. And how about the ladies' match? Wow, what a performance by Vicky Mboko. The young 18-year-old Naomi Osaka looked like she would have rather been anywhere but at center court in Montreal there in that one. She looked totally disinterested. If you're not rooting for Naomi Osaka, then she gets a little perturbed. I like Naomi when she's a kind of a sweetheart. Can I say that? But not when she's the villain. She plays a bad villain, and it affected her big time. Look, now there's no secret. Mboko just keeps wearing you down with impressive strength. She won matches the same way, by lose the first set and then come on strong and crush. But Osaka looked miserable out. Maybe it was warm or whatever, but it's not going to get any cooler next week or the week after. And Osaka looked like, don't bother me. But what a performance by Mboko to win. Really good story there, obviously, as well. All right, let's see. We got a few more. Andrew was impressed there by Mboko. For sure. Yep. It was good, right? And we're on to Cincinnati. I'm certainly taking the first few rounds off here right now but I'm coming back, I think, on the hard courts. I think we're seeing it pretty well. Didn't go with Mboko, didn't give a play in the women's final, but I was on the edge of my seat. All right, I think we're ready to go here. Put yesterday aside there with some of the news. Where there were some highlights in baseball, but I think we just covered the scores there a little bit. I don't know what you think the headlines might have been. Lopez, 10 strikeouts for the A's in that game. Skeens, 6 innings, no runs. ERA now under 2. Drake Baldwin might have been the star of the day, of the probable rookie of the year in the National League when all said and done, with the 2 home runs, including a 3-run shot there yesterday. All right, here we go. Let's get it ready to go to, we've got to start the major leagues, of course. Look, got a big sheet here today. You probably do too. All right. Here we go. Let's get it going. And we're going here first. Game up with Cincinnati taking on Pittsburgh. You got Chase Burns. Saw him, wanted to see more of him there with the Speedway game, but going up against Keller here for the Pirates. Is really the Pirates still favored in this one? You don't tell me the Reds aren't favored yet? Yeah, they are. I filled out these lines before I took a little nappy poo here in the middle of the night, maybe, before we got up and ran the show. And now the Reds are clearly favored here. And total definitely is dropping here to 7.5 over at minus 115. Let's see if the steam machine's working here a little bit, it feels like, on this one. But maybe it's just been a sharp decline. Obviously, with Burns improving here, I think, maybe against some teams on the road, maybe against weaker teams. He'll start to improve on the road a little bit. We know he had some issues, certainly there. It wasn't the overpowering pitcher that he first started out to be, but we know what he brings to the table. So, yeah, you bet the steam came in here on this one, and, man, I got to probably agree with it. Probably not getting the best of the number anymore, but I feel like this is a case for the under. Here comes some steam, in fact, here right now, as I just mentioned it. The steam machine's going off, and the steam is coming in on the Los Angeles Angels, and why not? I mean, Scooble, whatever. If it was 325, I think the Sharps probably don't want any part of that. And maybe there's some steam coming in here on the Angels. Circa just went from, I think, 330 to 305 with Detroit. So pretty much the biggest dog on the board just got steamed in the Angels. But we've seen some other steam, including the one I just mentioned here with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. That steam to the under. I'd probably go with it here on the show as my move as well with Burns. Look, Pittsburgh, we know they don't average very many runs, and sure, maybe Burns isn't perfect, but really the Reds, right? I mean, they're the hot team. Come on. The Reds are one of the teams we're talking about as one of the hot teams in the league here right now, the way things are going. Burns does have an ERA of 6, but again, Pittsburgh just averaging 3.5 runs per game. Burns is actually 1-6 to the under so far this season, despite the fact that the Reds are 1-6 with Burns on the mound. Keller is 4-10, 3.82 ERA. These two guys combined are a 9-20 to the under. So I'm going to go under here. Keller 1.2 WHIP. And I'm still going to go with the under here. There's some vulnerability in these two guys for sure, but Reds have gone under in 5 of their last 6. 5 of the last 6 in the series have gone under. Pittsburgh has gone over in 6 of their last 7. They've been hot, Pittsburgh. They've won 11 of their last 16 games, but the Reds have been consistently hot. So the Pirates have been doing the job at home. Here we go. Free bands like the Padres today with Pavetta. Maybe NYC Bar is going under here. 9 Legacy, first 5 under. And Dougie says, this is the gambler game of the day. Maybe he meant the Detroit game. Cash Kane, Pirates, run line. Here, Irish King had a big day in some of those NFL games there. Laker Boy here joining us. He hates MMA. He doesn't like it. Let's see here. Lovable says. Singer, he says Singer's going under here. Or let's see, he's talking Brady. I'm not sure. Do I have the right picture? I'm pretty sure it's Keller here and Burns. And let's see here. Reds are terrible with Burns, right? Yeah, they don't get it done here, but man, they're playing well. Oh, Terrell wants to know. I thought you were the weatherman. I'm the leatherman. All right, I'll take a look. So we got here for today's weather in this one. And you got wind blowing straight in from center field, about 5 miles an hour, temperature around 80 degrees. Tigers will win today. Hello to Trevor Davis. I think that's it for this one. I'm going to take the under. Next up, Astros taking on the Yankees here with Hunter Brown. Going up against Schlittler here. Watch out. Now, Brown's been awesome. 2.47 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, 194 batting average against. Astros are 14-8 with Brown on the mound. He's 8-13 to the under in his decisions this season. Schlittler, I did it. I said it. 1-2, 4.58 ERA. So far, pretty okay for considering that your rookie thrown in here on the Yankees. Probably got some expectations, right? But still, here comes Houston. Are they back on the groove a little bit at this point? I mean, they've lost 9 out of their last 10 games to the Yankees. These guys have really been in their way for years, it feels like now. Houston's dropped 9 of their last 13. The Yankees have dropped 5 of their last 6, but they were on the road, and at home they've actually won 4 of their last 5 games. Houston's gone over in 4 of their last 5. What do you guys have here at the Brown and Schlittler? I think I know where I'm headed, but let's see what you guys have in the chat. Well, maybe nothing here. Is this thing on? Thank you, 60 people joining us here live right now. Cash Kane on the over here in this one. Hope I'm not going too fast. I don't know what else we can do other than read off the lineups and see what we think here in this one. But Houston does have a problem here, and well, you know what? With the Yankees here, just $1.15 or so, I got to take the Yankees in this one. Robert likes the under here. Trevor on Houston, but NYC bar. Look, we had an over, we had a Houston, we had an under, and we had a New York. So, all right, there you go. We had a little something of everything. No, there's no consensus. And here's Fernando on the Yankees here. All right, I think we can move on here. Lovable's going over. I knew you used to come around. Remember, your comment in the chat, your chance to win my premium plays. 50-cent value. 50-cent per day value, your chance to win by making any comment in the chat. And you could win the drawing at the end, and hopefully we'll get NYC Bar on there too. I got to figure out what's going on. I know you said Allen NYC Bar, but I didn't see any. So I hope it went through, and I hope you used I need to figure that out. Okay, Yanks money line, Judge home run, Jazz home run. That'd be a big day, Cash Kane says. Coop says he wants the Yankees, but I mean, we're still trying to get these guys back on track, right? Still feels like the Yankees aren't. But, you know, they get home, they get on a roll, they're playing a team here that, you know, it could fire you up a little bit taking on these Astros right now. Brown's been good. You know, we know Brown. So. All right, next up, got the A's here taking on the Orioles. Man, the A's are, if it wasn't for the fact that they're 30 games under 500 and a bunch of games this season, they'd be in first place. That's kind of year the A's have had. They're only 16 games under 500, but I mean, they've had some real good streaks, kind of like they are right now. Feels like they're one of the better teams in the league. JT Ginn, though, goes here against Sugano in this one. So, look, the Orioles aren't great either. I mean, they're 11 games under 500. That's why this one's probably pretty evenly rated here. Baltimore, slight favorite at this point, maybe $1.15. Total is sneaking up here to 10, it feels like today. I'm going to call it 10 right now. Why not? See if that's what you guys have. JT Ginn's 2-3 with a 4.28 ERA. He's 1-4 to the under so far. 1.26 WHIP, 286 BABIP for Sugano. 8-5. He's 7-12 to the under. These two pitchers are 8-16 to the under, but the total's moving higher. Sugano 4.42 ERA, 269 batting average against. Baltimore's won 5 of their last 6 games at home, but they struggled on that last road trip, and they've actually lost 2 of their last 7 overall. Meanwhile, the Athletics have won 6 of their last 7 on the road, and they've also won 9 of their last 13 overall. A's have gone under in 7 of their last 9. 10 of the last 15 between these two teams have gone over. Let's see what you have to say in this one. It's not an important game. We don't spend too much time on it. Wouldn't make the weekend rotation, I'll tell you that. But the A's are playing well. Nasty Nate says Red Sox to smash the Padres tonight. Cash Kane says, I don't think I could pass on the Yankees. Judges back. Maybe they've already had, looked better, I think, here. Fili Mathis is here. And Keller, talking about that Keller and Reds game back there. Cash Kane, Orioles run line, Irish King, Yankees money line. Irish King says Keller, he's 4-1 the last 5. There's Goops. He wants the over, I think, in the Athletics in Baltimore. Sugano lost to the A's earlier this season, 5-1. All right, I'm going to take the under here in this one with the A's and Baltimore. I think it points to an over pretty much, but I'm going to go under, actually. And I get, you can grade me. I think 9.5 over 20 looks like a possible price here at a few spots. Uh-oh. I see Circa right now at 10. NYC bar says under.
Final.
Next up, the Angels are on the road against the Tigers. We already talked about this in that steam that came in. And, that's knocked them down a little bit. Now, look, it's still Tariq Skubal. The Angels, we know their offense has been pretty okay for sure, pretty good a lot of times. And it's still tough when you're going against Skubal for sure, but let's see the way you guys want to go about it here. I mean, I'm an old school Kyle Hendricks guy, but I know I know he doesn't have much left nowadays. Does have a 4.459 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 258 batting average against, 21 starts, 6-8 record. Skubal's 11-3, 2.18 ERA. Tigers are 16-6 with Skubal on the mound. Angels, they can hit, man, but just a matter of can they hit Skubal in this situation, I think. Obviously, that's a terrible and not analysis, but maybe more. How have they done against Skubal? Maybe that's what you'd look at. Just see if the Angels can stand a chance here against him, because they faced him back in May. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. So pretty good performance. But, once again, the bullpen a little bit. And this is a big price. I don't know if I could pass on the Angels here on the run line. Nearly a plus situation, I think. The old plus. Plus 110 or so. I'm going to be signing up for the Angels here on the run line. Before I even go to the chat, let's see what you guys have. I don't think I need to go much further. Dougie says they'll win. Tigers will probably win, but can they win by 2? Fernando maybe under. A's team total under. Tigers run line for NYC bar. Orioles are the A's. They just give up. What is level saying? Orioles and A's just give some, and I used your bet on this one. Gotcha. Skubal had that win. Yeah, 9-1 was it? Wow. Cash Kane, Angels plus 3.5. Lay a little. I don't mind that. I'm the king of the alternative line. Kinda. Andrew K. under. Lovable plays. Angels run line. I'm going to take the Angels on the run line too. All right, next up. Marlins, Braves. And like we said, the Braves got the best of it yesterday, right? So, sometimes just like when the Astros came to town and then no, I don't think I want to say that, because obviously the Braves aren't the Astros. They had a pretty good day. They had one guy have a pretty strong game. Now you do have Bryce Elder. Everyone likes to kind of pick on this guy, so could be back to Miami today if you wanted. Cabrera, very reasonable numbers, right? 3.24 ERA, 228 batting average against, 7-12 to the under is Cabrera. For Elder, he's got an ERA of 6. and a 1.5 whip, 324 batting average against. He's gone under though in 5 and 9 to the under. These two are combined 12 and 23 to the under. I don't tell you, that's almost 65%. Hard to want to go under with these two, but I don't know. That's pretty strong. And the steam came in on the under. In fact, I think it's 7.5, isn't it? No, it's still 8 over 15. Final. But you do have a Miami here now as high as $1. Oh man, they're going up to like $1.30. Wow. I guess you can see it, right? Because people like to go against Elder. Not a lot of faith in him. Cabrera, what can you say? He's kind of a veteran now that you know what you get with him. And remember, the Marlins were super hot. They still are hot, really. That was a rough series. I know. Miami's won 10 of their last 15, 14 of their last 20 on the road. Atlanta's dropped 5 of their last 6 at home, and 11 of their last 15 overall. Miami's gone over in 5 straight, and the Braves have gone over in 13 of their last 20. Although 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two have gone under. 14 runs were scored yesterday, and Bryce Elder's pitching today in that hot Miami lineup. My man Marcy, we took him. We said take Marcy yesterday, and hey, he did the job right away. I think he was 2 for 2 with a run. How did he finish up? I didn't even look. We won the bet, and I was, I don't know, I might have been watching some football. I want to check to see what the full box score was for my man Marcy yesterday. Let's go to the comments here and see what you guys have in this one. Marcy ends up 2 for 4. Okay, no big deal. Here we go. See what you guys got here. Marlins. Andrew likes the plus. Dougie's leaning toward the Braves. I just take the over. Braves and Marlins. NYC Bar says here, man, I kind of wanted, but man, these two pitchers are, basically almost 2/3 of their games are under. Cash Kane over. And I know for Elder, I get it. I'm going under. I can't not go under. You know me. I mean, what am I going to do? Go over? This is probably the game. Braves team total over here. Braves have Miami's number a little bit, says Lovable. Yeah, they do. 16 of the last 20 games won by the Braves. To me, it does say, like, if Miami is at least a little bit better, hey, we got to beat them this time. But there's no doubt. This has been a tough place for Miami. Marlins first 5 for Cash Kane. Cabrera has Apache Storm. Hello. Great to have Apache Storm here. I think we might have had Apache Storm in there, but great to have a great comment from Apache Storm asking about Cabrera the last time he went up against this Atlanta team. He had it was last year, but it was in August. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, in a win. Cabrera's no rookie, right? That's what we know for sure. Andrew says Miami first 5. Lovable on Miami. Apache says Marlins first 5. Good morning to Jermaine. He's here, everybody. He made it. Looks like he made it. Terrell, Miami team total over. And Cabrera's been looking strong, right? Miami's been looking strong. I'll take the under in this one. Cabrera's going to probably deal on these guys today, I think. Guardians and White Sox, Tanner Bybee going up against Aaron Sabali here. So Sabali 3 and 6, 3.99 ERA, 2.62 BABIP, 262 on the BABIP. Bybee 7 and 9, 4.51 ERA, 1.25 the WHIP. 255 batting average against Cleveland on the road here right now. Way down on the price, down to $1.40 or less here right now. You want discounts? Come and get it on the Cleveland Guardians for sure here. Now, we don't want to slight the White Sox. They've been looking good. They do have a veteran, obviously, here in Sabali. But the White Sox still got to give them credit. look, they covered the spread yesterday. It felt like, right, in the game against Seattle in the 4-3 loss. Pretty competitive. They were 2-2 there for the longest time. Played another good game. Did the White Sox playing well, playing good, playing okay. Comparatively, right, to a team here, maybe like the Rockies, where we want to keep trying to go to them. No, I don't know. Cleveland's won 7 of their last 8, 4 of their last 5 on the road as well. White Sox have dropped 4 or 5, but I mean over the last 3 weeks, compared to the rest of the season, this is about as good as it's gotten. Still, Cleveland has won 7 of the last 8 games here in rate field, and 10 of the last overall by Cleveland. And now you're getting this big discount on Cleveland. I mean, come on. 5 of the last 7 in this series have gone under. White Sox, though, have gone over in 5 of their last 7 games. Let's see what you guys have in the chat in this one. The NYC Bar takes his once daily Guardians. And Cash Kane leans to Chicago here on the run line. Maybe that's it. Oh, Dougie, sorry about that. Dougie, White Sox first 5. Run line, Cash Kane maybe likes the over here in this one. I don't. I like the under again. Just going to take another under here at 8. It's already gone down to 8. It's 8 flat. I mean, that's a half a run I've missed out on. Here's Irish King, team total, maybe team total over. Robert McCormick likes the White Sox here in the first 5. Yeah, Cleveland's not going all that well, I guess, but I don't know. This is definitely a savings of about 20 cents, and that might be good enough for me. Tremaine says last 18, last 20 pitchers went over their K-prop. You mean just in general, like over the last couple of days, or one specific team? I'll take the under now. It's down to 8. I thought I was going to do a premium with 8.5, but I'm just going to have to take another under here. I've got all unders on this show so far. No, we had some sides in there, didn't we? Versus the Phillies. We're coming up to that right now. Texas, okay. Oh, it's Texas. 18 last 20 pitchers went over their K-prop. Got it. Okay, Naylor here for which right. They're on different teams all the time now. Okay. Doge is ready for hockey season. Guardians are hot with Bybee too. Wow. I mean, look at this. Very interesting. Let me see. Is there somebody out has there been some injury news with Cleveland or something there? No. But we did see Medroth hit the injured list yesterday. I thought that was kind of a big deal for the White Sox. Yeah, you know me, Lovewell. I'm always on those unders. Yeah, and look at okay, here we go with Philly and Texas in, since Jermaine's talking about these pitchers going under in their K-props. How about under in the games? When you talk about Philadelphia here and the Kings of the unders, Texas. And now you've got Merrill Kelly, a change of scenery here. He gets to pitch in Texas now instead of Arizona. We kind of complain about Kelly in Arizona sometimes, right? That things weren't working. Still has a 3.22 ERA, and now he's pitching in Texas. 1.0 WHIP, 205 batting average against. We know Merrill Kelly's solid. He's 9-6 coming in. And for Sanchez, we know he's totally solid. 10-3, 7-14 to the under. The Phillies are 16-6 with Sanchez on the mound. 2.40 ERA, 107 WHIP, 223 batting average against. A little weak on the BABIP, but Sanchez will be ready here for this one for sure. Man, we're hey, might as well just sign me up for the under. It is down to 7.5 under 20, maybe even under 25. So plenty of momentum here for the under on the price. That's obvious. Not necessarily steamy, though, I don't think. I think it's just a lot. Maybe it's some heavy volume here. I'm taking the under. You can't stop me again. That's 3 straight. But I don't know, with Sanchez and Kelly, and we're in Texas where it always goes under. I know we had some unders last week, and I think Mike was even talking about, maybe it wasn't Mike. No, it was some talking about maybe we're starting to see some the more unders now. I don't know if we are in Texas, actually. Are we? Texas here at home, you know how it's been with these unders right now. But Texas also has won 10 straight games at home against Philadelphia. Philadelphia 3-12 in the last 15 overall against Texas. 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Texas has won 8 of their last 9 at home, 13 of their last 20 overall. Good game here. Good game. What do you have here in this one? Feels like one of the better games, doesn't it? Okay, Action Jackson went under. Probably going to be this one, I would think. Yep, totally getting a better price on Fernando on the Guardians, right? The one time when I like to take the favorites a little bit, now maybe Cleveland's not being, and maybe they're not strong enough for anyone that want to play them as a road favorite. Still White Sox, but against the really weak teams is when I like those discounts. I still think you got to throw the White Sox in the weakest group, despite their nice little surge here this past month. 3 weeks, whatever it was. Dougie says Philadelphia first 5. NYC bar, Phillies money line and under. Andrews on the under. Tremaine going over on Kelly's K-prop. Duran is having an insane run here. Cleveland money line and Ramirez to homer. All right, I'm going to take the under again. Man. All right, next up, the Mets and the Brewers. Well, that sounds like a pretty good one, too, here. Important game for sure, considering what's going on in the standings here in the National League. I mean, the Brewers right now, they're in that group of division leaders here at this point, but the Mets are the team to look at. They're just inside the playoff bubble. They're 3 games ahead of the Reds right now, so pretty comfortable. And the Mets could use, I don't know, they're so up and down. Maybe this is a spot for them to get away a little bit and have a good series or something. You have Senga here, 2.31 ERA. Woodruff has been strong so far. These are the Brewers, after all. He's 3-0 in 5 starts. The Brewers have won them all so far with Woodruff on the mound, 2.22 ERA, just a .63 WHIP, 1.41 or a 141 batting average against. And Woodruff has been on fire here. But Senga's going to give him a battle for sure. I would think maybe even a little run for the money. But still, it's hard to deny. Woodruff has been awesome here so far. Brewers up 21 3/4 units this season. All right. Cash gains on the Mets. Fernando says, he's not saying bet the Mets. He's saying he wants bet the Mets so he can get a better price. Yeah, this ain't too bad, though. Right now at $1.40 or so, it does feel like they're betting the Brewers. I want to bet the Brewers, but the price is going up a little bit high here. I mean, I got to at least change it to $1.40. That's probably going to put me on the free play with the Brewers here at this point. Just totally impressed with what Woodruff is doing, and total here in this one is 8 under 20. I think that's a safe there. And I got to go with this favorite. I don't think there's any value at all. I'm just not sure I can get off the Brewers. I'm enamored with them at this point. That's fair to say. Anybody watches this show, got 64 of you in here right now. Appreciate it. Brew Crew for Andrew. Fleas on the Brewers. Lovable just says the Mets get constipated. Dougie says the Brewers have peaked too early. But they have deep pitching, it feels like, too. I mean, I talk about it every show. How the Brewers favored against them dogs in Atlanta. I think that's what that says. All right. I'm taking the Brewers again. If I would say if anybody, I think it's just on Brewers because of Woodruff today. I actually like the spot for the Mets, but I think Woodruff is looking pretty sharp. Yeah, these Brewers are just hot. Let me go on here. The next one with the Royals and the Twins. Lugo and Ryan here in this one. And you got Ryan a favorite right now, $1.35. $1.35 or higher here. Ryan's taking a little bit of action. Now, that's the trouble, I think, for me. I'm questioning that. Total here at 8 over 20, but we're starting to see some 8.5. So there's definitely a little bit of move to the over here in this one, it feels like. We know Ryan's strong with a 2.83 ERA and 10-5 record, but feels like the Twins are sliding away here in the chase for the postseason. So that's the one thing I kind of question sometimes with a good pitcher and the motivation, especially when you're going up against a team like Kansas City is a little bit hungrier. They're still 4 games out right now, but Lugo's been fine too. Lugo comes in with a 3.06 ERA, 8-5 record, and just feels like Kansas City playing just a little bit better right now than Minnesota. But, with Minnesota at home, that could neutralize it, I guess, a little bit. Minnesota's dominated Kansas City at home, winning 16 of the last 20 games against them. Kansas City, though, has won 8 of the last 11 overall, but mostly their games at home they've won. It's been a home-dominated series. Kansas City's gone over in 6 of their last 7 on the road. They've also gone over in 5 of their last 6 overall. The Twins have gone over in 5 straight, although 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams have gone under. And those have been mostly Kansas City wins, getting good pitching. It's only been the long-term Minnesota games at home in general that they've been able to win, but they were on a longer winning streak before that, and since then, Kansas City's come up with a couple of wins, even here in Minnesota.
Final.
So let me hear from you in the chat in this one. It just feels like Kansas City is just a little bit better right now than Minnesota. That's what it feels like. Here we go with the chat. Maybe Fernando was talking about the Brewers game there. Here's Minnesota for Dougie. NYC Bar is on the Royals. Twinkies are dead. Take the Royale. Cash Cane under. Lovable plays. So the Brewers are hot like the sun. Kansas City money line here for Cash Cane. Kansas City money line and under for Irish King. Under for lovable plays, and Andrew K getting ready for some Asia Cup. I probably should get into some Asia Cup, but this is pretty busy baseball card. I'm sticking domestic here, I think. I'll take the Royals in this one. All right, next up, the Cubs and the Cards. It's rivalry time. Matthew Boyd on the mound. Man, Boyd is, talk about hot, going up against McGreevy. For Boyd, he comes in 22 starts, 11-4 record, 2.34 ERA, 103 whip, 224 batting average against. Boyd continues to look sharp. Pretty big price, though, here on the Cubs at $1.50, $1.55, 8.5 under, -115. Maybe 8 over 20 is okay. There's some 8 over 20s out there right now. I might just leave it at 8 over 20 to give a tough line because I think I'm probably going to go under again. But McGreevy has gone over in 5 of his 6 starts so far. But you just have Boyd, 8 and 13 to the under. McGreevy, 5.31 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, 307 BABIP. So you do have what can you say? You do have the Cubs here riding high at this point. You got to think the Cubs comfortable right now with that wild card spot. The Cardinals are 5.5 back. There's not enough room for a lot of movement between those teams that aren't in. Talking about the Reds, the Giants, the Cardinals, and maybe even the Marlins. Chicago's won 4 out of the last 5 between these two teams. Cardinals have dropped 4 of their last 5. 5 of the last 7 between these two teams have gone over, and 11 of the last 14 overall have gone over. I meant to say 5 of the last 7 in St. Louis have gone over between these two. Cubs have gone over in 5 of their last 6 games on the road, although they did go under in 5 of their 6 at home heading out. Let's see what you guys have here. I probably under for me. Probably should take the grand salami here tonight, it feels like. Thanks, Jimmy. That's awesome. Yeah, the baseball's been good, right? We did have a rough overnight card. I didn't play any Asian baseball today, but so thank you for mentioning. I should have, but I played the Aussie card today, but with a little bit of NFL preseason, I neglected it tonight. I bet a few games, but nothing that I felt good about sending out. Dougie's on the Cubs here. I mean, who said there are levels to this? Who said there are levels to this in sports betting chat rooms? NYC Bars on the Cubs money line. Cash King is going to lay it with the Cubs. Why not? I mean, Jimbo, JPC, good to see you. He's on the Royals today. Pirates on a 9-2-4 first 5 run. Lovable on the Cards. Jermaine, first 5. Hey, like this video. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Lovable Plays, Cubs on the run line. Hey, make sure you're checking me out on the Cover the Spread show every day. Joined by Rod Zawacki and Al Ninos. Find Cover the Spread on YouTube. Get 3 plays for me pretty much every day over there on Cover the Spread. Give me the under here with the Cubs and the Cardinals. You get 15 plays here with me right now. And, hey, I still have my best plays. I got to be honest. I keep them behind a paywall here on the Sports Money premiums. Okay, we're into the night, the late card now out west with the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen, huge favorite here at minus 235, 240. It's about 240. I think that's fair. Total's 9 flat. Now look, I know we always try to get cute with the Cardinals, and I know Zach Gallen's pitching or whatever, but Gomber's 0-5, 6.38 ERA. We know where this one might be headed, right? You really want to take a Gomber here, even with look, it's a terrible price. I just don't think I want Rockies with Gomber. I don't know if I want the Rockies with anybody. They're still 30-84. Diamondbacks still got the bats here. This one's probably going to get pretty loose. You got Gallen with a 5.4 ERA, so these guys have gotten rocked. Gallen's 8-12 so far this season, and total's only 9. I said it. I'm going to take Arizona on the run line. I just can't. I don't want to be one of you. You can be. If you want to go in the chat, say Rockies, this is a day. I don't blame you. This price is not very good. I'm only giving it out here on the show because I try to give out one play, and you got to like this total. I don't know how you like it, but I like it. Arizona's minus 1.5, minus 120, and Arizona has lost 5 of their last 6 at home. They've lost 11 of their last 15 overall, but the Rockies have dropped 10 of the last 14 games to Arizona. They're also 4-12 their last 16 on the road. Chance for the Diamondbacks. Maybe they're desperate. They're probably done, but they're desperate to win here right now at 9 games out of the wild card. So it's now or never, really. Diamondbacks these are the games you at least got to win these games. So give me Arizona here. Probably some volatility in this one. Arizona's actually gone under in 10 of their last 14. Here we go. Diamondbacks run line for NYC Bar. Rockies money line for Dougie. And that, fair. It's fair too because Arizona isn't good. So, but Arizona run line over. Rockies team total over for Jermaine on the alt line there. And Gumby, it was once a little green ball of clay, Austin Gumby. Going way over with Gallon on the mound for sure. And I don't know what Andrew, if he's going which team, but the Rockies to beat up. Gallon will give it up, says Lovable. And I get it, but I'm back. I'm going with Gallon. Bullpen isn't very good either, right? This is a bad game here all of a sudden. Let's move on. Tampa Bay taking on Seattle. Good game here and good pitchers with Rasmussen, 9-5, 2.81 ERA, 102 whip, 218 batting average against. Rasmussen's been solid all year. He's also 6-15 to the under so far this season. Castillo, 23 starts, 8-6, 3.22 ERA. We're not having a dominating Castillo season. He might be just wearing down, getting older here a little bit. You still take him in a good game here. Not take him to bet him. I'm just saying if you're Seattle, you got to have a good starter. And Castillo at least gives you that option. Tampa Bay has dropped 10 of their last 14. Seattle's won 6 of their last 7 and 4 of their last 5 at home. They've also beaten Tampa Bay in 4 of the last 5 at home. Tampa's lost 11 of their last 14 on the road, although they have won 6 of their last 9 against Seattle. Maybe Rasmussen evens it up here a little bit. But Seattle's gone over in 4 of their last 5. Right now, Seattle is $1.30, and the total 7.5, and it is shaded to the under here, and maybe a tick to the under in this matchup. So let's see what you got in the chat. In this one, all right, Jermaine says it's time to get freaky. What's that new movie? Because I'm an old Freaky Friday from back in the day, right? But what, Freakier Friday? It looks like a fun movie. Is it a movie or is it a Netflix show? Or I don't even know anymore. But I might watch it for 5 minutes. I'm looking at the Mariners team total under, says Dougie. Says tight game here. NYC Bar does like money line in the over. I don't like I'm going under in this one. I'm going under right now. I'm going under. Look, I'm debating on the side. Actually, it might not. I'm taking the under. Here we go. Maybe extra innings. Dougie, that's just what I feel like. I'm on Rasmussen a lot, but Seattle does seem to handle Tampa a little bit here at home. Tampa needs to get away a little bit and get some winning done, but they're not winning on the road either. So I think that's kind of the problem that I have going into this series a little bit. Thank you to AOD being here today. Is it Dutch that said that? And also, but I thought there was one other capper too, but it sounds like something Dutch would say. That's a great phrase. All right. Thank you, AOD. I guess I'm on the under there. Let me go to the Padre game with Pivetta and Bueller. It does seem a high price, so I don't mind what Nate's saying here today. I might have to find Boston. It's not a great price on the run line, but I'd probably be more willing to take Boston on the run line here at minus $1.50 against against Pivetta, right? Look, Pivetta's done a nice job here for the Padres for sure, and they need him. But you do have Bueller here, so take a look at the matchup For Bueller, he comes in right now with 5.74 ERA. Definitely some rugged numbers. 1.59 whip, 285 batting average against. For Pivetta, here he's 11-3, 2.73 ERA. Padres are down to $1.65, so I better not get too enamored with this Red Sox run line, because Bueller definitely has some poor numbers here, and Boston kind of been struggling a little bit on the road for sure. Pivetta 2.73 RA, 191 batting average against here. So go ahead in the chat if you want to kind of debate this one a little bit, see what you got. I'll see what you got right now. Good morning to Nuke. Like this video, subscribe to our channel. Dougie likes the Padres on the run line. It's just the Padres sometimes against Boston. Feels like, I don't know, a little intimidated maybe? Is that what they might be? Boston's won 10 of the last 15 meetings between the two teams. Cash game, Padres money line. Cash game, though, Boston here. But they've won 7 of their last 8. Padres have won 9 of their last 11. This is a good series. Padres have won 5 of their last 6 at home. 12 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams in San Diego have gone under. Now, that's about a 10-year sample size, but Jermaine says lean to the over. NYC Bar Red Sox on the run line today. Bueller's going to get smoked, says Dougie. And Andrew K says these other pitchers are looking good. And Level Play says this just ain't the same Bueller, it feels like. Oh, okay. I have the pitching matchup wrong, Dougie says. Sorry about that, guys. What did I do wrong here? Oh, no, he must be talking about something else. All right, Padres for Lovable Plays. So unless I'm missing something here, or maybe I got to go with this as the matchup. Okay, I'm on Boston here on the run line tonight. They just seem to give the Padres a hard time. I know this is some good momentum for the Padres. Even I'm feeling it a little bit here right now. All right. And we got a couple more here on the West Coast with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. This feels World Series here. No, Max Scherzer on the mound. Hey, you got to trust Max a little bit, but I actually don't know if I trust these two guys at all here against each other. Max with a 4.39 ERA, Kershaw 3.29 ERA, although Kershaw's 5-2 so far, and the Dodgers are 8-5 with Kershaw on the mound. Still, Max just a 1.04 whip and Kershaw 1.24 on the whip. I'd say the pitching matchup's pretty even, although Clayton's not striking hitters out quite the rate Max is right now. We know Toronto's super hot here. They've won 4 of their last 5. Dodgers have actually dropped 9 of their last 12. Although Dodgers have beaten the Blue Jays in 12 of the last 16 meetings between the two teams. Dodgers here have gone under in 8 of the last 12 at home against Toronto, but Dodgers have gone under in 6 of their last 7 overall. Toronto, just the opposite, but remember where and who they played. They've gone over in 6 of their last 7 and over in 7 of their last 8 on the road. Let's go to the chat. Great game here. In Toronto, keep it going against the struggling Dodgers a little bit. Here we go. Dodgers for Dougie. Can't spell Dougie without Dodger. No. Level plays maybe on the Red Sox here. Andrew says, last 5 starts, Bueller's look better. Is it Veterans Day today? What is it? I do know this. 37 years ago today, the Cubs played their first night game in Wrigley Field. How about that? And also in this day in sports, I was Wayne Gretzky was Nuke. This day in sports history, it was on the same day, I think. And I think because 88, very lucky, but wasn't a lucky day for Canada. That's when Wayne Gretzky got traded to the Kings. He's on the Jays. Nuke's on the Jays. NYC Bars on the Dodgers. I agree, Cash Kane. I think we're gonna see both guys struggle a little bit. I don't think they're gonna go that. I think both of them are going 4+ maybe here. That might be it. Will it be an expensive ticket? Andrew says could be a great crowd here. Over for Lovable. Irish King, thank you for this 3-teamer there. Oops. Thank you for this 3-teamer there. Andrew wants the over here as well. All right, I got to make my call. I guess that's going to do it for me here in this one. The Dodgers are getting the discount here at this point. They're down to $1.40 here right now. So good morning to Mikey Money here today. He said he swept the KBO. I'm glad Mikey had the plays because I took the night off in Asian baseball. I did split my no, I think I got swept with my Australian action. Oh my gosh, I'm hot in golf. I wanted to mention, bad job by me. I'm back to the monologue here all of a sudden, but I have 4 of the top 12 names on my 6 plays this week at the FedEx Cup playoffs. I'm on Ben Griffin, I'm on Henley, I'm on Clark, and I'm on Fleetwood, and they're all in the top 12 right now. So we got some good results so far in the golf. Hey, some steam just came in on the game between the Mets and the Brewers, Senga and Woodruff. We're seeing a little bit of action here, the over right now. That's probably because it was already getting hit down to 7.5, I think, a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, that one's up to 8 under 20. It was already probably close to that. Okay. Better make my call here with the Dodgers and the Jays. And yeah, I'm going to go with this discount here on the Dodgers tonight. Give me the Dodgers over the Jays. Next up, one more here, and we've got we're just seeing the line come out. This one's real late to market. I don't think Tang is going to be the pitcher for the Giants. We already tried to play this game, but let's see what you guys got. This one, hey, we might be better off just leaving it alone. It feels like. And if anything, when you're talking about who should be the starter for the Giants, that should be Jameis Winston, of course. We got the wrong Giants right now. Okay, so we'll see who starts out there for the Giants. The line is just coming out here. Looks like $1.60 and 8.5 under 15. And we'll see who the opener or whatever the Giants want to do. This one, we feel like we're just not a lot of information. I almost want to skip it. See if we come up with something, or if you guys have something here. But again, Tang was slated to start last week. It'll be a bullpen game for sure, so I think we can count on that. That might make it a little bit easier to make a determination on what you might want to take today in this game. But I got to be honest with you, with this line just coming out, I don't got anything right now. I mean, this one was real late to market, although we do know that the money is pretty heavy here, actually, at this point on San Francisco and also on the over here right now, the volume anyway, the money anyway. So, all right. I'm going to leave it off, actually, here today, you guys, on that game. Because we got some other to talk about. We got to keep it rolling right now. So catch me on the other shows. I'll try to focus on that game a little bit later if you don't mind. Maybe a few picks from you guys here. Dougie says seek help. And Giants run line here. Sounds fine. Thank you, Mike, for all your information here and your help. Appreciate it. Okay. And I do like, and Mike's there, I do like the number of viewers we have on those lead-in shows. It looks like it's way up from the people who were just not here. And the couple people who just hang in the lobby and wait for the show to start. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the NFL next. Here's some action here. Fernando said take the Nationals. And Love Places, maybe they checked out. Not looking good here, says Andrew, are the Nats. Okay, let's go to the NFL preseason. And hey, look, I think we had a good zero in on this yesterday here on the Morning Steam. We were on the Ravens yesterday. Yeah, got it done pretty easy, right? Return for a touchdown. Hey, anytime you see a Baltimore guy with a number 80-something running back, you figure this guy, he's probably going to do it in the regular season too. That's just what Baltimore does. They find ways to score there. And the Colts, they're in trouble. They're not looking good. They need Flacco. I mean, they need Jones to win that job. Richardson, I don't think he can outplay Danny Jones, to be honest with you right now. All right, we are seeing some steam right now in our first game. Steam to the over here in this one with Washington and Minnesota. Check out the 2-3 zone show with myself, Justin McKelvey, Ron Crawford, and some other cast members on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Preview the WNBA every day on the 2-3 zone. But I talked about the total in this game, and right now the steam is coming in. Minnesota's gone over in 6 straight games, and that total is going up here right now between Minnesota and Washington, with Minnesota at home favored in this one by now 11. Totals up to maybe as high as 157.5 here. So do see this game going up here with Minnesota right now, and I gotta like them to win here now. I'm just gonna take them as my free play at -11. I don't think I'm gonna go premium here, but they won 3 straight. They're 10-6 against the spread at home, I believe, and also Washington now has lost 3 straight. They've made some trades here. They traded Aaliyah Edwards to the Sun for J.C. Sheldon yesterday, a couple of 24 draft picks. Sheldon's now with her 3rd team here all of a sudden with Washington. So, look, she's a good guard, right? Kind of, I don't know if she's in the mold of the Beckers, but just hasn't quite worked out for her to 3 destinations so far. And now they've gotten rid of Aaliyah Edwards at Washington. They're juggling the roster here. They're still alive in the playoffs, but it does feel like it's going to be hard now for Washington to make it. The talk is they have maybe thrown in the towel and are trying to build something here. I think there was a draft pick involved. Minnesota's 25-5. Washington's 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games. They're 7-10 to the under as a dog. I'm going to go with Minnesota here to rock them. All right, let's see what we got here. Irish King talking about weather in the Major League Baseball there on that late game. That'll help. Panthers money line for NYC Bar. What am I looking at here? The baseball. I mean, the football. Did I start the wrong sport? Should we have done football? How did I end up on? I thought am I on the wrong game the whole time? I was. All right, I'm sorry. So I was going to say okay, let me just do the WNBA. We were given the results of those games, right? And I was like, oh, man, am I wacko here? Have I lost my mind? I just started talking about the WNBA when I was supposed to do the NFL. What a fool I am. All right. Do you mind if I do the I'll just rattle off that whole game. What a fool I am. Mike's probably going to fire me after that. Thanks, you guys. All right. I messed up. We'll come back to that. I'm sorry. I think because at first I was deciding, what would you do? NFL? Probably should do NFL over NFL preseason over WNBA, but all right. Sports money, adding to the misogynistic fan base out there. And here's the thing. If you wouldn't be so negative about it, WNBA and laugh it off, then it'd probably stop, right? Ah, that's so funny. And people wouldn't do it. Now it's just going to keep happening, and then it becomes a big storyline, and then they just keep talking about it again in the post game. They can't stop talking about it with the incidents out there. Okay. I'm taking Minnesota in that game. Let me whip through the WNBA then real quick. Liberty and Wings here in this one, with Liberty favored on the road. The Wings have their share of injuries, but Paige Beckers is expected to be in this game after all. That's good. They'll need her because the Liberty are big favorites here. They've won 2 straight. They're still just 2-10 against the spread on the road. Maybe they're 3-10, but it doesn't matter. Dallas has actually covered 3 of their last 4. They've lost 3 straight. Big number here at it is down to 8. And the total here is now 174. Okay. All right, I'm going to be on the Liberty here in this one. Look, with this big number, I'm still going to go with the Liberty right now. Did want to maybe look at the injury report real quick, see what's changed. Because, okay, Becker's list is questionable, but I'm pretty sure they came out and said she is a go. And Hines Allen now probable. So no Brianna Stewart still, so that's kind of an issue. Dallas has had some covers for sure. I'm still taking the Liberty here today. All right, couple more here, and then we'll NYC bar, Liberty money line, Liberty and under for Cash Kane. Maybe lovable plays is going to take the Wings. It sounds like plus the points. Last game here, Storm and Aces. In this one, and you have the Aces favored by 1, total 163.5. It's continued to go up here right now, so I'll probably just go with the over as my play. That was my play on the show, and now it's still going up, so I'll just try to reinforce it a little bit here, but it is kind of getting away. Vegas is 8-5 to the over at home, and they've won and covered 4 of their last 5 now, have the Aces. So that's big because they've been struggling, and now Seattle's lost 3 straight. But you know what? That's when Seattle's at their best. Storm won the last meeting, and it was recent, so you think the Aces, they got the revenge factor. Still, Seattle 9-5 against the spread on the road. They are 3-7 to the under in their last 10. This thing keeps going up, though. I'm going to go over here in this one with Las Vegas and Seattle. See what you guys have here, if anything, in this one. And it's going to be, we're going to get back to it, Andrew, right now. We're going to go back to the NFL. Sorry about that. I just blew it here. Introduce a new sport. I can't handle it. Can't handle a new change of the show or anything. All right. Irish King talking about Cunningham there, and Storm money line for Robert. Okay, let's go quickly to the NFL. So it felt like, like I was saying here, we had those teams. We had the Ravens. We had the Eagles there, right? We had that Tony's premium over there on Seattle. We took all those home dogs. Remember what we were saying on the home dogs? All right. Now, who was talking about Sanders? Who was talking about what Cleveland is up against here? They've got all those quarterbacks. We made fun of them. Look at all these quarterbacks, and now they have no quarterbacks. They've got Shador. Everybody else is injured. Shador is probably the hottest fantasy guy tonight that everyone's going to be on. Because look, you got Flacco's not going to play, right? I don't think Flacco. Pickett has issues here. Dillon's not going to play. You've got Sanders, and you've got Sanders. Shador Sanders could have a big game, or he could have a disastrous game going up against the Panthers and whoever, Young, Dalton, Plummer and Dalton, hey, they said right here, this situation for Carolina, this feels like a run-through situation, and they are favored by, 6 here? And the total 33? Yeah. Another thing, so are we going to just see more overs here all of a sudden, right? Do we even have to worry about what we've seen in the past? I mean, look at this totals. It's not even 33. I think it's 33, and it's starting to creep up a little bit too, for sure. Feels like kind of tricky here. So I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to go with the over here in this one with Cleveland and Carolina at 33, maybe even 33 and a half. So, but I think I think the Browns might be in trouble here tonight. I know the dogs were coming in, but I might be on the favorite here, but I need some premium. I need a premium, and I think I got one here possibly. All right, some other players in this game, though, you got to figure for Cleveland here, they're looking at possibly a Thrash. I would think Thrash in there is going to be involved in the action. Caden Davis as well. Luke Floria and Keyshawn Johnson, I think, too, is who they were talking about. Also, Cade McDonald. For the Panthers, Jalen Coker, David Moore, plenty of experience out there. Jimmy Horn Jr. Those are some of the guys today. I think they're advertising, if you know what I mean. These are the breakdowns where they say, hey, you don't know who's going to play. We know who's playing, you guys. We just don't know who out of these guys are getting the ball. So you know who's not playing, right? McMillan, Thielen, these guys not really, getting involved. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Oh, did you guys have any comments here in this game? Let me see. We're almost done with the show, I think, you guys. Aces could be making a playoff push. Seattle on the road could be troublesome here. Sanders versus Bryce Young. Yeah, it does feel like, right, for Carolina here. This is pretty much a go. The go game. And I feel like this will be probably a pretty strong performance for Carolina against the Cleveland team that we're just back to the same old dysfunctional Cleveland. Doesn't matter. And that mostly speaks volumes in preseason games. They might get blowed out here, especially. Look, I hope Sanders is the savior here. I hope there's some, come on, Sanders, please be the real deal. But, and we didn't really doubt his dad, did he? Did we? Back, remember in Florida State, you knew that Dion, though, was going to be. There was something about him. There was something about him when you met him. When you met him in person, even when he was in college, about this guy, you knew Deion Sanders was a can't miss. All right, the Lions and Falcons here in this one, and again, I don't know what I'm seeing with the Falcons if I'm liking it. Now, I think we're going to see, we're going to get some stick. We're going to get, but Cousins, I believe, not expected to play right here, so. At least that's what they were saying earlier this week. Now, so I know we're going to be seeing Easton Stick. I know we're going to get also some Emory Jones in there. That doesn't sound great. Meanwhile, you know who we're going to get for Detroit? More Hendon Hooker, more Kyle Allen. I thought those guys looked fine against the Chargers, even though the Chargers did the job. Feels like the Lions kind of have a one-up on these guys. Now, Robichaux's, I think, out. But I'm probably going to go to another over. I'm just scared. I think maybe we've gotten it wrong now these days. Maybe these games are turning out to be more like 7-on-7 drills a little bit with these scores. And on a fast track here, I'll probably just take the over in this one. Who you'll have is Khalif Raymond today. Probably be kind of the marquee guy. But we also saw Tisla Tesla, right? He was looking pretty good. Tesla, that probably sounds like a guy who could probably get into the end zone tonight. And Bell, we tried to go with Bell last time. All right, I'm going over again. I'm going over with Detroit and Atlanta. I'm just, I might be just broad brushing it here. I don't have a lot of, look, for Atlanta, you got to figure Kadero Hodge probably be one of the bigger. I think we'll see Kadero Hodge. We may even see a DJ Chark. Atlanta's going to have some guys in there for sure. Jamal Agnew as well. So I'm going over here in this one, but I do think you got a Detroit team still that's going to be just a better overall franchise coming in, if you know what I mean. That's part of it for me in some of these, in taking a look at the preseason. Okay, let's see here. Please be the real deal, right, Andrew? I mean, sure thing, Blue. Yep, but that was Mikey had the KBO there last night. The last night there. I agree with you, Robert, on that. I think it's a good rule. I think it's the perfect adjustment for now. I don't know if there's much else we can do other than I don't know. Here's the funny thing about it. I don't think I've made this statement yet. I don't know if people are even making this statement out there in the real media. I know you guys want me to, I'm the real media, but the object, okay, I know the safety because of the, traveling when the men coming down running 50 yards, that's going to make a bigger impact. But the goal of the league seems to be we want to get more returns. So we're kicking it closer. And look, I don't think that makes a big difference, right? So I get that, but the goal was to reduce the amount of contact with the head. So, yeah, maybe the distance travel that hurts it too. But good morning to Justin. And good morning to Blue. I never did check to see who the top commenters were, but now seems like a good time to do so before Blue gets rolling. NYC Bar number 1, Andrew. Oh, let me refresh that. I know that I'm NYC Bar. You're my number 1, but Ken Mizrahi, hello. Or take the over. When you got Kenny coming in here saying take the over, you got to respect that. So let's take a look here. NYC Bar number 1, Andrew G number 2, Lovable number 3, Andrew K 4th, Cash Kane 5th, Bobby Mack 6th, Irish King 7th, Fernando 8. It was Doge 9, and AOD is 10th. All right, I got one more here to look at with the Commanders taking on the Patriots. And I think I've got the same thing here. And now I understand the Patriots. This is a little bit of a run through for them as well. I mean, they're going to see some, hopefully here, some Drake May getting out there. We know Drake May has been looking good in training camp, but also Josh Dobbs here. And good old Ben Woolridge could be in this one. And for the Commanders, we're not going to put Jaden Daniels out there, but we got to have Josh Johnson. Come on, Josh Johnson, my man. He'll be out there, and Sam Hartman, right? I think Sam Hartman at this point. But to me, Washington just a better team, better organization, believe it or not, right now than the Patriots. And I'm not. It's the same thing here. I'm not. Now I know that those other teams were laying points on the road, but I'm taking Washington here plus 6.5 points in this one. Give me the Commanders plus 6.5. I'd rather take these points in this game. Gonna have maybe some Luke McCaffrey in there, Michael Gallup as well, Jalen Lane. Also, my guy KJ Osborne for Washington could get a chance in there. And Kendrick Bourne, I think, is out. He was maybe expected to be in there a little bit. Kyle Williams for the Patriots today. Okay, let's see here. Anything in this Washington money line for NYC Bar? Blue says they're going to see what they're doing here. Blue's a long-time Patriots fan, over 20 years. All right. Hey, is that it for? I got the CFL game to talk about here with the Edmonton Elks on the road taking on the Montreal Alouettes tonight. Man, that was really a bummer about Woody. Man, he had that kick return for a touchdown. I gave it out on the happy hour at 3-1. The first possession return for a touchdown from my man Isaiah Wooden Sr., and then has to leave the game late in the first quarter with an injury. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully on any injury, but it was an arm or a wrist or a shoulder. I don't think he hurt his legs, and that's important because he was turning into a bit of a star in the league for sure, leading the league with 3 returns for touchdowns, my man Woody. All right, let me preview this one, though, real quick. I'm on the Elks. I don't know if I need to get too much into it, but I will take the Elks here in this one. In the game tonight against the Alouettes. Alouettes, let me make sure the line here. Alouettes, the Alouettes are favored. Sorry about that. I'm still on the Elks. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think we have a Alouettes here favored by 1.5 now. All right. Well, a good thing it's on the free play, I guess. Here I'm on the Elks. I guess maybe I'll just take them on the money line to win this game on the road. I'm gonna take the Elks here right now. Look, Elks are struggling. I know here, but the line is there for a reason. Bethel Thompson here has struggled. You do have Fajardo. He's obviously back now. He's coming off of some pretty good games here, over 600 yards in the last 2 games now. The Elks got to get it going. They should be able to go against Montreal if they don't run the ball against them. Montreal has a good run defense, in my opinion. Montreal could put up some numbers here too, though. I went with the under the under last night. It didn't work out. Probably going to be some high score again today. I'm going to take the Elks here. Doesn't feel like I'm getting a good line where nobody's getting a good line. Okay, Elks money line for Timmy. Andrew says the Elks are live. I think the show's over, you guys. We're going to do the drawing here right now. And, hey, you get a chance to win a prize package worth $20 because you commented in the chat. We're going to share the screen and do the drawing to see. If you'd like, you can win my plays here from winnable.com and get my plays delivered every day for free. You don't need to subscribe. No risk, all reward. Win a free subscription right now with Ramon's Sports Money Premiums at Winnable. These include my peripheral plays on a lot of sports that I just don't get a chance to cover on some of those other shows that I'm on, even this show, right? You know what comes in my peripherals from the Sports Money. I'm on the NRL now. Didn't work out last night. Our winning streak ended in the NRL. But pick up the plays over at winnable.com.
It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess. Don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
So check me out over at winnable.com/Ramon and get those plays. You can click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you over to my Winnable page. And over there, you can subscribe also to some free plays. There also, you get some maybe my Asian baseball. Get the plays from me, from Mikey, from Jeff. And I'll have my UFC plays up there this morning as well for the subscribers. So check it out over at winnable.com. All right, hopefully you got a chance to see the VB MMA Pick Show. We previewed the fight card here this week, but also First Strike, get our programming here for this week. Get ready for the action here tomorrow. We'll join you at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific for the UFC card. So be ready and get your handicapping done. Let's do the drawing here right now. We've got Nathan, we've got Justin, we got Laker Boy, we've got Cash Kane, Jimmy, Nicholas Handy, Dirty Reg, Sports Money, Terrell, Fili, Lovable Plays. You got to know Lovable Plays is worth it. 50 cents a day. Yeah. Use the promo code WINNER, Lovable Plays, if you want to get a free 1-month subscription to my Sports Money premium selections. I'd love to have you join me, know what I'm on, close to game time. Give out these plays, you give out your plays, and I got more plays. So check me out over at winnable.com. Terrell says go with all those unders in a parlay. Oh, my God, Terrell. We could just bet the salami. But a parlay, you're right. Ken, he says, take the under tonight in Montreal. Okay, all right, I got you, Ken. I'm going to write that down because, man, I was thinking, between the way Montreal, I don't know, I kind of like, Dunbar here, Gittins, Julian Grant. I kind of like those guys to score. And then Montreal, I like Sneed. I like Speaker. He's been hot. But I understand Bethel Thompson, not looking good. Fajardo, look, he's back, and they need him now. I mean, it's almost season's almost over for Edmonton if they don't win tonight. They might not win tonight. It is a good commercial. Blue Mikey did such a nice job with that. I'm going to play it every day for the rest until he gives me a new commercial. Thank you to Andrew. Thank you to everybody here and on the show. Really appreciate it. Join me back here tomorrow with more Sports Money Morning Steam. Mikey Money joins you today, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, with pre-gaming. You get you ready for the primetime action here. We got lots of games to discuss. So join Mikey here on the Sports Money Network. Show up early. I think you might catch VB MMA picks today as well. So, all right, that's going to do it here for the Morning Steam. Back here tomorrow on Saturday for the action. Should be a big night. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.